There is no second pass.
Hello! Welcome to the Crypto Otaku show. It is I, Crypto Otaku, and I have a special stream for tonight. I'm going to be bringing on a no-coiner to interview. Bitcoin is kind of coming back up from the lull of the FOMC meeting, right back up to the previous trend line, and yeah. I'm going to be getting into that in a bit, but first I wanted to bring on Mondo Cat. She's actually been a very, I guess, exciting fan of mine. She's been helping me build my stream, so I just thought I'd be really interesting because she's not a holder of Bitcoin or cryptocurrency, to bring her on and just kind of ask her, as she's aware, just to be unbiased. She is aware of Bitcoin. She's aware of my pursuit and passion of crypto, and just wanted to see kind of like what her take is. Maybe kind of just go through the basics and yeah, just kind of go from there. So without further ado, Mondo, are you on?
Hello.
Hey,
I am
Mondo.
on air. What's up?
Yeah. So, you obviously are aware of Bitcoin. You know it exists.
Yeah.
I can't stop preaching about it as you say it. So what drives you into knowing of its existence and avoiding it?
Well, to be fair, the more that I see it in normal life, the more normalized I feel it is. Like gas stations, buy Bitcoin here. At the mall, Bitcoin kiosk, whatever.
Yeah, like the Rebel stations and stuff, Rebel coin stuff.
Sure. I don't know. It just says buy Bitcoin here, and then I don't look into it anymore. But the biggest thing stopping me from Bitcoin is it's too volatile. It goes up, it goes down. Even if the overall trend is up, it's still terrifying that with one click of a button, one solar flare of destroying all communications, and that is all gone. That's what keeps me from wanting anything to do with it.
So are the solar flares, is that what's holding you back? Because, I mean, I do remember briefly talking to you about that in the past, and that would be like catastrophic for the whole planet, but like it would have to engulf literally the whole planet and knock out like every node in order to disrupt the network, because it is the most secure network in the world, being run on countless nodes, running on countless servers, and being a ledger, a indisputable ledger for every transaction and every everything that takes place. Everything it's a peer-to-peer. So I'd be like, it would be like no different than you're downloading something on uTorrent and your download stops, because there's not enough people streaming your file anymore, right? So in that case, there's still like plenty of people still doing it on the other side of the world. So you're not necessarily not getting your file right now, but you're gonna get it later. You know what I mean? So like that's probably the best comparison I have to Bitcoin in that sense. Whereas if you're worried about like the end, that's really not gonna happen. Like it's not a realistic way of it, you know what I mean? Like, so if that happens, if the whole world goes out, we have no power across the world, that's going to be bigger issues than what we're going to be using to trade for money. We're talking about people looting and stealing and killing and just trying to get by. But is there anything else that's like I can't buy Bitcoin because of this, or I can't buy crypto or get into crypto? Is there anything like holding you back? That's maybe the technology or the standard or that sort of thing.
Well, I like the analogy of it's a uTorrent, and people are seeding it. That makes that's a good analogy, I think. However, like my obscure things I've downloaded, when people stop seeding, then it's gone. The biggest thing is the literally 100 biggest thing is it is so volatile. It can go up, it can go down so much in one day. But
Yeah,
that's just
and I
one
understand
part
that.
of it.
A lot of people typically look at that as being a positive for Bitcoin, just because there is so much of an upward, you know, variable for it. So I understand your fear on it being volatile, but yeah, I don't know. Sorry about that. I just got lost my train of thought, looking for a picture of your avatar to throw up here.
Yeah. No, you are fine. But yeah, I think it's also because it's not tangible. To me, it feels like an NFT. Like that was popular for like 5 seconds. Then people are like, "You wouldn't download a ping, would you?" And then no one cares about
Okay.
NFTs anymore. It's not tangible. I can't hold it.
That makes sense too, because money is kind of thrown around. It's a physical thing. You can feel it, you can touch it, you can physically trade it with someone. Whereas something like this is depending on more of like an interface, right? Or a transferable method, whether it's a hardware wallet or an exchange, right? So are you just waiting for? Because that's the biggest worry I have is that I'm waiting too long to get as much as I possibly can, because by the time it does get to mainstream adoption, then it will be too late to acquire enough, because we've kind of gone over it before. There's like 21 million Bitcoins in existence, and that's all there's going to be. And now that the big hedge funds are all getting involved in Wall Street, this is kind of like the last hurrah before Bitcoin goes to the moon. So don't you feel like that's also kind of like a concern or worry that you will get left behind if you don't get in?
Well, I guess the biggest thing about this also is what happens, say all 21 million Bitcoins get mined and no one has any more currency ever. Are everyone who doesn't buy just going to die? I don't think that's going to happen. Just like the government prints more money, why don't they just increase the limit of Bitcoin? I know you said they can't do that, but you know what? It's a program. Anyone can do anything.
Yeah, I mean, it's a physical limitation of the way it was programmed. That's the extent of it. I'm not going to go into great detail, but there could, like you said, there could be maybe another solution or another answer, right? There's 30,000 tokens now, right? So maybe who's to say there's not another one that becomes like the poor man's Bitcoin, like Litecoin or something like that. It's possible, but by then, like BlackRock and all these larger corporations are going to hold the initial asset, the one that's going to be replacing finite resources like gold and things like that, as a long-term hold of wealth. So that's my biggest concern is, once everyone's kind of adapting to how the future is going to be using crypto in place of monetary value, whether that's the USD or the euro or the franc or whatever. This is like the first programmable money we've ever had. It's also the first money that is available 24/7 worldwide, and there's nothing stopping me from sending something to someone in Germany or Hong Kong or anything in my time frame or their time frame. So I'd say there's a lot of there's a lot of positivity when it comes to crypto in general, but I do kind of understand your you know your sentiment that what's going to happen. This is going to be the last form of money. Like, then what? So Bitcoin, the miners are going to be mining Bitcoin. The last block which gets mined for Bitcoin is going to be in like 110 years or something like that. So it's not going to happen in our lifetime, but eventually it will. And then what? Then what will happen? Are we going to be in Mars by then? Are we going to be trading Mars coins and stuff across the satellite? Who knows?
Yep, I don't know. I couldn't tell you. We weren't around. I would be interested in learning what happened when they first stopped trading services and they started printing money. Like the very first time that they did it, to see, because I'm sure people were skeptical then too. Like, oh, why would this little piece of paper mean anything? And now we don't even question it. And I think that that's a big problem of me, and probably a lot of others, is I've always traded services for other services. Why is a piece of paper going to mean jack shit?
Yeah, that's always been kind of my take on it too. When it came to fiat currency, is what is this piece of paper really doing? It's just kind of changing hands, and the government's able to kind of track it a little bit, but not really. And who's to say that I'm able to work under the table or can't work under the table for cash or trade for illicit goods, whatever. I mean, I've always had a weird relationship with money personally. I'm sure everyone has their own experience as well with that. And this is kind of different, where we can see the money all the time, and we know, I mean, if you know the wallet, who has the wallet, you know how much they have. So it's different. It's almost kind of like, it's scary. To me, it's a little scary too, because it's almost like China in the CCP, because they are tracking the Chinese citizens and how much money they have and where they're going and what they're doing. They've got cameras everywhere. They have their social credit score and all this weird stuff. So who's to say maybe the government's really not behind, or really is behind something like this, and that's kind of the future of where they're taking the world, not just our country, but the world. Anything's possible. But what I'm watching with that is just the entire world eventually getting on this crypto bandwagon, because there's no way to stop crypto. They'd have to literally shut off the internet, right? So we already went kind of over that. We'd have to have a massive solar flare that would engulf the entire planet, and if it did that, it would probably just destroy us, to be honest. So there's no way really around it, other than society collapsing, a nuclear war, all kind of like end world scenario type stuff. Did you see I put your avatar up in the corner there? That's Mondo Cat in the corner. But yeah, that's kind of my 2 cents on that. I personally think that there's really no way to stop it. We're just waiting for the world to adopt it, if that makes sense.
Yeah. I'm sure old people were really skeptical when they traded their cash for bank accounts too, that you could access online. Saying like, well, what's them stopping from putting another zero in there, or taking a zero out? Probably nothing. I mean, my dad, he didn't trust any kind of digital banking. He wrote checks till the day he died, and I will never.
You're absolutely right.
Owned a check.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, because even the banks, the way the Fed works, like the Federal Reserve really isn't even part of the government. Like, they allow the banks to issue loans, and like this money is kind of just made up. I think the last time I checked, the actual printed amount of money is only like a fraction of what's out there. So we don't have like a dollar for every dollar that's actually allotted for or accounted for in the economy, the world economy. Even all these other countries hold the dollar, and they don't actually have dollars. It's just a number on a screen, like you said. It is it's kind of it's kind of been that way for a while. I mean, $34 trillion is our debt in America, and the world's got other problems too. So yeah, I totally agree with you. But yeah, crypto
I don't know what
is
else.
kind of the thing that might fix that.
Perhaps. And I'm interested to see where it goes. But there'll be more Bitcoins and more Jesus coin.
Yeah, the Jesus coin. I remember when you and I first talked about crypto, one of the first things you had ever brought up was it sounded like I was preaching a cult or, in this case, Christianity. And so, like, the Jesus coin was definitely a real thing.
Should I dump everything into coffin coin?
No, I mean, unless you're ready to be put underground in a coffin. But aren't you afraid that, like, all these big corporations are gonna buy up the asset, and then that's gonna be it for the little people? I mean, some of these people now own like as much as countries, like or some of these companies like Michael Saylor's MicroStrategy owns like it's almost near 200,000 bitcoins, and some of these countries only have 200,000 bitcoin. It's kind of a really weird race that we're witnessing here every day. Just kind of like who's leading the race, who's got what. Because there's only 21 million Bitcoin in the world, and there's 8 billion people on the planet. Not every millionaire could even have one Bitcoin, or not even one person in America can have one Bitcoin. It's like it's getting ridiculous. There's only 2 million left on the exchanges currently.
Yeah, there'll be more coins, and I think the way that we might end up going, and I don't know if I'm talking out my ass because I don't know anything about crypto, but that crypto in general will be taken as money of relatively eventually equal proportions, whether it be Bitcoin or coffin coin or butt cheek coin, whatever coin we got.
You probably haven't heard. There's a coin now that's called cock in you.
What?
I'm not making that up either, but it's based off the Shiba Inu dog, right? So it's a meme coin, but it's COQ. Yeah, it's a strange one. But yeah, there will be no shortage of coins in the future. But I mean, what do you man, I don't even know where to take this anymore, to be honest. I mean, you had I guess tell the stream a little bit about yourself. Like, do you think that there's anything that would persuade you to get into crypto other than just this is how I pay for this now? Because that's the worst case scenario for me, to be honest, is that I'm going to be late to some sort of project and it's going to take off, and then that's the only way I can pay. But if I would have gotten in earlier, I could have been able to like set myself up, for years or whatever, with that certain asset. So don't you have any sort of fear, or not fear, but like motivation? Don't you feel like there's a motivation to get involved or learn or understand like what's happening with the future of the world in technology?
Right now I'm more worried about 3D printers and 3D asset making and etc. Things that I can sell, things that I know are valuable and will retain their value for a while. 3D printing and 3D assets are going to be mainstream in the future. It's going to replace VR is going to replace gaming.
Oh, I personally believe already 3D printing has kind of already, I wouldn't say peaked, but like I've noticed that when like 3D printing first started, all the products that people were churning out with the 3D printing were much valuable back then. But now it seems like you go on Etsy and everyone's putting like these dragon eggs and stuff like that. And they used to be like $20, $30. Now things like that are like a few bucks because it's just the demand's already been met. Everyone already kind of has their tech and they're making whatever. So the files are personally what I see being more valuable than the actual assets, because once you have those 3D files, then I'm not going to get into too much of 3D printing, but yeah, I see what you mean. It's a very fascinating direction we're headed with everything. I mean, we haven't even really gotten into mainstream food. Like 3D printing food, and that's coming at some point. We're going to have that in every kitchen.
The 3D printed meat, yeah.
Yeah, 3D printed meat and 3D printed pizza and whatever, cheese. You just like load up your cartridges with like proteins and stuff, and it just squeezes out assorted colors and insert like flavor packets or whatever.
Yeah. So I know that I can have a future making things regardless of currency if I learn those skills. And that's why I'm interested in those skills right now, because like I said before, the biggest thing holding me back is too volatile. It could go down to $1. Will it? Probably not, but it could happen. It is essentially the same thing as stock market. It goes up, it goes down, depending on who's buying, who's selling. Too volatile. Me getting knowledge, getting skills, not volatile. It'll only go up until I have dementia, and then it will go down very drastically.
What if I could show you that like crypto in general hasn't really been that volatile compared to the stock market in terms of, yeah, we have these large swings, but the longer you've been in, the more wealth you obtain or sustain, really, compared to the stock market, where you can probably make about a 10 or 12% a year on your assets, but in crypto you're averaging out, Bitcoin in particular, you're up at least every 4 years you're up at least 100, 200, 1,000%, depending on the cycle we're in. I mean, to me personally, it doesn't seem like the risk it's really as risky as Wall Street with certain stocks.
Right, but I looked into Bitcoin when it was $6,000. It was the beginning of 2019.
Oh man.
And then it started going up, and I remember the dad from the Shaytards posted something about Bitcoin, and I got really interested. I'm like, okay, celebrities are kind of endorsing this now. And then I watched it go up and up and up and up, and then crash, and then up and up and up, and then crash. So say I bought $30,000 worth of Bitcoin November 12th, 2021, I would now have like $20,000 or whatever. It goes up and down, yes, but it goes down way too much for me to be comfortable. Like I showed you the other day, Walmart is a stock that has pretty much only gone up and has never crashed significantly.
Yeah, that was a really interesting. That was really interesting chart you showed me. Yeah.
I'd be interested in potentially investing in something that has never crashed. It's tangible. No one can live without Walmart, pretty much. They're everywhere. I mean, like, I'd be interested in, Dollar General probably is in that same kind of trend if they have a stock market thing. Nope, they actually crashed. Dollar General crashed hard. It had a good trend too. You go look at Dollar Tree. It never crashed hard until this year, actually. Their call sign is DG. That would be one I would feel comfortable. I would actually feel comfortable investing in if you cut off this year. But then even this year, crashed completely. Anything can crash at any time. My $1 is not going to be worth 50 cents tomorrow. It is relatively stable. Yeah, it depreciates 10% a year, whatever the fuck. But tomorrow it's not going to be worth 50 cents, and I know that for sure.
But what about just the dollar in general versus these assets, like the depreciation with inflation, where we're losing about 1% every month of our dollar? Doesn't that worry or concern you that like over time, like the money we're holding is just getting less and less in terms of purchasing power? We can only buy so much like we used to before.
I mean, that's just the nature of inflation. Remember, there used to be dime stores. I've never seen a dime store. There used to be dollar stores. This generation will never see a dollar store.
Yeah, the $1.25 store is kind of it now. But I mean, what happens if and this, I just brought this chart to kind of talk about, just show what you're talking about. You're talking about Walmart's gradual climb over the last 20, 30 years. I mean, you're not wrong. Everyone has basically needed Walmart now for as long as we've been alive.
Yeah, I think probably the reason Dollar General crashed, they have a store approximately every 100 feet in the Midwest, and the biggest thing about Dollar General, though, I love Dollar General. Their prices aren't super bad. They're everywhere, so I can walk 20 minutes after my doctor's appointment to go to one. But they're just the sales are not great. The ads are always expired. Just today, I bought something for you that was supposed to be on sale, and it wasn't. And I had to raise hell and give them the sale ad and be like, look, this is supposed to be on sale. And then, and the stores are always really dirty and not organized. There's only one employee, and they're always out front smoking, look like they're gonna like steal your children when you go inside. Like it's there out of necessity and not as Dollar Tree is not, or Dollar General is not proud of being Dollar General, where Walmart is very proud of being Walmart. And while they do a lot of shitty stuff, they do try to stay on the good side of as many people they can, if not only just their own image sort of thing.
Yeah, Dollar Tree and Dollar General are both kind of gone south since we've kind of lost the workforce, or at least the motivation of the workforce. No one wants to work anymore since COVID. But I mean, don't you feel like again all right, just kind of going back to Walmart, right? So Walmart has the like you mentioned, Walmart stock has this upward trend that doesn't seem to ever really have stopped since we were born. Okay, mm-hmm. So don't you feel like, okay, so if you would have put in, if you would have just, let's just say that you would have bought one share for $44 in when we graduated high school, somewhere around in the 2000s, right? And it was $50 on average, right? And right now it's only 150. It's only 3x. Wouldn't you want to be in an asset that has 10x or 20x or 100x or 1000x by the time you're able to retire?
Well, I mean, that would be a smarter long plan to be in one that increases significantly, but we can't tell the future. And I'm not in it for the long plan. There's nothing super expensive that I want to buy. I want food and shelter, and I'm happy. So but I'm not concerned. Money always
makes everything a little easier in life.
It does, but I have enough right now to be comfortable for quite a while on my limited budget of ramen and 50-cent noodle packs from Walmart. I make it stretch until I'm able to get my assets and just all my stuff in general up and going for my commissions. And I have a book I've been writing for like 12 years. Maybe I'll finish that. Just to be more focus on the entrepreneur part of my life as soon as I get stable for once.
Jeez.
I'm not good with risk. I'm not good with anxiety. So I will leave that to the people that are.
Do you
when
think, with taking into that subject, do you think a lot of people, when they hear about Bitcoin or they hear about crypto in general, are just psyched out of the market because they just don't want that part of their life to be full of anxiety and have to keep up with things? Do you think that's what's keeping more people behind in terms of getting involved in this asset class?
I feel like people see it the same thing as NFTs. It's like some fancy dancy new thing that's going to be gone and useless shortly.
I have another theory around that whole NFT thing. I personally think it's gonna come back, but in a totally different way. But NFTs, pretty much what people did was last cycle when they made all this money from. I'll just kind of show you real quick. So everything's kind of built on. Well, everything was only built on Ethereum last cycle. So Bitcoin works or crypto works in these 4-year cycles. And so in the last 4-year cycle, we've seen this breakout of Ethereum where this is basically the programmable layer where everything is kind of being built last cycle. And Ethereum was only like trading around like 150 to 300 before we really broke out. And then it just went absurd. We went up to almost 5,000 per ETH. And when that happened, there was no way to get your money off the exchanges for free. You had to have a taxable event and get pay your taxes to get out. So what these people did was they thought with the NFTs they could make a ton of money and invest in what they called art, right? So like the ape coins and all those things became really hot and popular with the celebrities and became like $1 million assets overnight. All that craziness happened because they just couldn't get their money off without the U.S. government taxing them. So that's my theory is why that's going to come back. But NFTs in general can be programmed to do anything you want. It doesn't need to be just a shitcoin picture, or a PNG or JPEG. It can be like it could be your driver's license or your car title or your house or whatever you want it to be. Whatever. A lot of these what do you call it? A lot of these concert ticket sales are now going to NFTs, and then they're giving their returning patrons some sort of novelty, to keep returning to these concerts. So there's a lot of use cases for NFTs. We really haven't really seen it quite yet. Mass adoption's still not there. This is still pretty early when it comes to the world adopting crypto. But yeah, like what do you think when it comes to NFTs in general? I think at some point they're gonna be maybe they're gonna have a different name for them or something, because I think people have been burnt by the name. They don't really quite understand the technology yet. So what would you think if you found out that your favorite company or your favorite provider or service is only taking exchanging transactions with NFT tokens or granting it to NFT for a certain service?
So backtracking a tiny bit, I think that no matter how good or proper something is, no matter how much a government tries to push something, nothing ever becomes truth until society deems it is time to be acceptable. So there's a lot of backlash on NFTs. Any company supporting NFT gets fucking hammered right now. Just yes, absolutely. Just they are canceled. You even look at the letters NFT on your keyboard and Twitter cancels you. And yep. So I don't think in its current state the society will let it do anything. And I'm surprised there's not more backlash against Bitcoin too. But I think Bitcoin is seen as such like a weird nerd thing that just most people don't pay attention to it.
Yeah, maybe in the consumer market or retail markets, they really don't think about it. I definitely see your perspective when it comes to that, because I was preaching to you and all my other friends in my real life, and no one for years have really taken hold to this concept and this technology. So I definitely see it. That's why I'm interviewing you. I just want to see what is it that is preventing everyone from just jumping in and taking this opportunity as it plays out. But yeah, I love your perspectives. I really do. You have this. I mean, again, you want to maybe tell a little about yourself personally, because I think in the future you and I could probably work together interviewing more people in VR, like you're talking about in VR, because I think, again, with the NFTs, you were talking about the NFTs. The millennials, they're a little more open to it, but the Gen Zs, they don't want anything to do with the coined word NFT. That's why I'm like, it has to change. We have to change this this the advertising gimmick. It's just never gonna work with the Gen Zs. They just will never get it.
Yeah.
But yeah, tell them you run a community in VR chat, don't you?
I do, and we do gaming stuff, and not Bitcoin, crypto doesn't really come up, but we are also a community of positivity, and so we don't really bring up anything that is or could be considered controversial. And I think crypto kind of falls under that category, because I think people are very passionate about it, and same thing like religion or politics is people can't agree to disagree, and that's what makes it controversial. What I think could be a future for NFTs possibly, and now I'm a sci-fi nut, so this is sci-fi realm, but like I saw a thing saying that now I don't know anything about politics or celebrities, so hear me out. I heard something about there was the very first successful implant of Neuralink or something the other day.
Yep,
and
that's right.
if we did do something like where we had chips in our hand, and the chip had like NFC of our driver's license, of the deed to our house, whatever, but you could only get on that chip via NFTs. You can't just put a ping on there. You can't just download a ping to it. I feel like that would be a possibility of you could only put certified assets on your chip in your hand. I feel like that would get people to put money into stuff like that. But in terms of right now, NFT is seen as I bought a ping and it's on my hard drive, or it's on a cloud hard drive, or whatever, and it's not useful. It's stupid in its current form.
Yeah, and I personally think there would be a lot more backlash with that than crypto. Just having an implant, like everyone in the planet getting an implant on their wrist. Like I love the sci-fi. Yeah. You and I were talking earlier about Logan's Run, but yeah, I love that that aspect of it. But I just don't think that would ever come to reality with how people are just so evasive of everything. I think maybe these chips like Neuralink. I mean, again, they're doing some strange. They're in-depth surgery into people's brains, right? They're implanting these implants directly onto the tissue itself in the brain. So I don't think everyone's gonna be jumping for that either.
No, I do not like the idea of putting anything in my body. Like, even, the girls are always talking about getting IUDs or whatever. Like, nope, I don't want anything in my body at all. Like if I could feel something in there, it would bother me. So I don't want to be able to feel anything. It would feel gross to me.
Well, maybe the solution is like an external implant or something. It just goes on the base of your skull or something.
I mean, I could see some kind of like special watch being interesting, but then you could steal them and stuff. So I don't really know what a good solution would be for that.
Yeah, and even right now with crypto, like the best solution for a personalized wallet is still a 12 or 24 key phrase, right? So there's still a lot of innovation needs to happen when it comes to the adoption of crypto in hardware wallets or just software or browser-based wallets as well.
Mm. Yeah, I don't know. That's all I got.
All right. Well, that's probably a good place to cut it then. Yeah, I think in the future it'd be a lot of fun. Maybe to engage with people in VR. Really, my goal was to reach out and just try to find the Gen Zs, the millennials, and just see like. Get them involved, get them to notice this asset, to figure out what's going on with it, to understand the future it has, and how important it is to diversify when it comes to the failing fiat currencies. And I really do feel like you and I could have a lot of fun with that in VR, if you're up for that.
We'll have to see, yeah. I feel like it's not in the current form going to be very productive. So I feel like people are gonna either not care or be very defensive about it. So I feel like you'd have to get a really strong argument that really focuses on what Bitcoin is from the I don't know anything about Bitcoin perspective. And so far, referring to it as a torrent, I think was the best analogy that I've seen so far. But even kids these days aren't even know what a torrent is.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, everything's just kind of like I feel like everyone now just goes to, said like goes to Steam, right, and just downloads whatever or gets a deal, and they don't really think too much about or even music. No one's like downloading music anymore that way. It's all just Spotify or Pandora. Just wait for a little ad if you don't want to pay. Yeah, you're right. That's just kind of the way it is. Maybe we can do like some sort of in VR, like you've seen those videos where they do like a stand, they have like a sign up that says, I don't know, whatever engaging topic it is, like Biden's the worst president ever, prove me wrong, or something like that, and just do something similar with Bitcoin or crypto. Bitcoin is the true asset class, prove me wrong, or something like that. Written on a cardboard sign and see people approach. At least give people a way to approach it and interact, and then give their perspective. Because I really am amazed, because it's been a long time since I've been a no-coiner myself, just learning how this world works. And now I'm so engulfed in it, I don't even think about everyone else outside of it. And I'm just kind of jumping right back into that perspective to figure it out myself again.
Yep.
Well, thanks again, Mondo, for coming on. That's pretty much a wrap. We've been talking for about an hour now.
Yep, no problem. You want to do the rest of your show? And do that ticker analysis?
Yeah, I'll...
Why is Bitcoin going up? Let's know.
What's that?
Why is Bitcoin going to the moon? Let us know.
Whoa, Bitcoin's going up because... I don't know. Because everyone's had it with all the FUD, all the fear, uncertainty, and doubt. And the government can't bring us down no more. They've already said what they're going to say, and that's it. And it's a new month, and a new month for Bitcoin to go up. So we got a long way to go up. And the halving is right around the corner. The halving is only 78 days I don't know, 78 days and 12 minutes or something like that. So, yeah, it's coming. We'll be there in no time.
Sounds good. All right, I will let you go, and I will jump back into chat and let you do your thing.
All right. Thanks for joining me, Mondo.
No problem. Bye-bye.
Later. Alrighty. That was Mondo. Yeah, she's been very, very motivational for me as of late. Oh yeah, Bitcoin today. What is going up? What is going down? Man, yeah, I'm just so enthralled with that side. It's, like I said, it's been so long since I've been there. I really am, and I just got my dad to start investing personally, so it's been a huge achievement for me in my personal life. I have, I think, only one of my friends and one coworker I've ever been able to talk into this asset class. So that's been my personal journey. Is just try to get the people I love and care about not to be left behind. So yeah, let's just get into today. Man, there's so much that, like usual, there's so much going on in crypto. The crypto chaos. Let's get going. All right, so we have the crypto bubbles. Let's just start there. Everything's kind of coming back up after the day. Jerome Powell just kind of like knocked the market down and said, oh yeah, we're not doing our rate cuts until probably not March. It's probably going to be May now, so we'll have to wait to see that. But everything's kind of starting to recover after that nonsense. We've had the XRP hack of Chris Larson's wallet. His personal wallet was hacked or obtained or whatever. Unauthorized access is what they said. So since that, looks like XRP is still coming up. Anything else going on? Zeta, I've seen this. This has been popping up like crazy today. Last time I checked, it was 48% up. Now it's 112. That's insane. Yeah. Wow. Incredible. Anything else on the day going up? Massive. Looks like Chainlink. Oh yeah, Chainlink. I seen Chainlink was up like $17. Yeah, 18. Look at that. This thing, it's just running. It's ripping. Awesome. Chainlink, if you don't know, Chainlink is the leading cryptocurrency to bridge all of the crypto assets, so all the L1s. So you'd be able to trade something on Ethereum directly to Bitcoin and vice versa to Solana and ADA. Everything else is interoperable. So it's going to be a very interesting project to watch for the next cycle. I mean, the Chainlink, it could be the next $100 asset. We'll have to see what happens with Chainlink. Yeah, so everything's just kind of recovering, which is great. We had a bit of a red day yesterday. Fear and greed after everything's still kind of the same. Stock market might be up a little more. Yeah, a little bit more. What else do we got? Man, yeah, all sorts of stuff. So speaking about influencers and the markets, I don't know if you guys have heard yet. Ben Armstrong. I was watching his stream. It was yesterday, actually. He broke down his stream, and it was sad to see him that way because I started watching him years ago when I got into crypto, and I really didn't care too much for his content. I think he was a little too overblown. I always thought in my head he was more like the Alex Jones of crypto. And then he actually had an interview with Alex Jones, and I'm like, man, I kind of idolized him a little bit after that, I'm not going to lie. but he's had a bit of a falling out. And everything that's been happening to him over the years has been pretty rough. With his entire YouTube channel being kind of allegedly taken away by the rest of his crew, and everything going on with BitBoy Crypto originally, which now is Discover Crypto. Yeah, it's sad. It's sad to see him down like that and everything he's gone through. Hopefully Ben's getting the help he needs with the friends he has and family. But he came out and said he's not going to be doing any live streams anymore, and I was kind of bummed about that, because I do watch pretty much everyone every day, or at least listen to them while I'm working in my my day job at McDonald's. So yeah, BitBoy Ben Armstrong is having a bit of a fallout. Yeah, other than that, yeah, the markets are just kind of recovering, really. Solana had a little bit of a dip. It's kind of recovering back to 100. Avalanche, same thing, back up to 40. ADA back up to 50. Yep, nothing really too exciting other than Link, Zeta. I mean, XRP is down still. What's going on with Jasmine? Jasmine's still the same. I mean, everything kind of follows Bitcoin, right? So we're just waiting for Bitcoin to come back up, and it will be back up in no time. Because who the heck is selling off in the right before this bull run, right before the halving, right after the ETFs are still accumulating? We should probably check that too and see where we're at. I think, yeah, 18. Yeah, where is it? Let's just check X and see what's going on in X. But yeah, it's just been a crazy week. Crazy week. Bitcoin ETFs. Where are we at? Boom, today. Is this today? Yeah, February 1st. Grayscale Bitcoin. I really don't like, I want to go back to the treasuries actually. If you see this here, the Bitcoin treasuries is like a great asset. I love it. Shows you everything all in one place. Who has what amounts. Okay, so anyway, ETFs. Grayscale Bitcoin Trust is under 500k still. iShares is, whoa! That's why we're having a bit of a pump today. They're almost at 70,000. BlackRock's almost at 70,000 assets under management. Insane. It just feels like yesterday this was 50. Oh, it looks like they didn't buy any today, right? No, they did. They're not stopping. Who else is accumulating? What about Fidelity? Let's go back to X and see where everyone else is at. Well, we can just check here too. Wish this thing wasn't so clunky though. Fidelity's at 60k. Look, they're not that far behind. Fidelity ain't pulling no punches. And ARK is falling behind now. I don't think they're going to be able to keep up at this point. That's just way too much. You can't keep up with BlackRock and Fidelity. They're just ridiculous. They hold too much. Absolutely insane. Anything else going on? China still got the same amount. America, no sell-off yet. America at some point is going to be selling off some of our Silk Road holdings, so we'll see that. MicroStrategy still didn't buy anymore, waiting for that. Crypto market cap, top 10 just still Doge. We have a little while until Solana flips BNB. Oh, and yeah, 78 days, 1 hour and 51 minutes until the Bitcoin halving. Don't miss out. It's coming. Back to the rainbow chart. Rainbow chart. Boom. Still accumulating. Are you still accumulating? Yeah, I just showed you. You only got 78 days left. That's it. And then it's liftoff. You're either gonna get on that spaceship, or you're gonna be left behind. And that's just the way it is. Oh boy. FTX's $400 million hack linked to SimSwap. I did hear something about this headline today about something about FTX got hacked or something. Does it even what does it even refer to anymore? SIM card swap hacks, huh? Interesting. Yeah, I'm not looking at FTX stuff anymore. I'm just so burned out with hearing about FTX. Oh, Valkyrie and apparently there's another. Oh, are they really calling it that? Valkyrie's going to add a second custodian, BitGo, to its Bitcoin ETF. That's pretty cool. Are you ready for the money printer to go burr? It's coming. They have to. I mean, when are we going to have to? They're going to have to raise the debt ceiling still. What do you think happens when they raise this debt ceiling? Money printer go burr. Let's see. When is the next date on that too? Debt ceiling US. We've already exceeded the current limit. It says here that in January 19th, 2023, the limit was reached and the Treasury announced a debt issuance suspension period and began using extraordinary measures to borrow additional funds without breaching the debt ceiling. The final agreement passed by the House on Wednesday and the Senate on Thursday, back in the week of January 19th, suspends the debt limit until 2025. There's a lot that's going to happen between now and 2025. We're talking about Bitcoin, crypto, the Bitcoin halving, the ETFs. We're talking about multiple ETFs by then. We're probably going to have an ETH ETF and maybe an XRP ETF by then, by 2025. And on top of that, you're going to have the cycle top of Bitcoin in 2025. I mean, you're talking about Bitcoin going to the moon. It could be between 120 or 500,000 by then. And it might be a super cycle. And on top of that, they're going to worry about the debt limit increase by then? I mean, you can't make this stuff up. You just can't make this stuff up. I think by then it's just going to be looked at as a joke. BlackRock's already, I mean, all these big hedge funds and Wall Streets are already throwing their money into another asset. You think anyone's going to care about Bitcoin? I mean, the dollar anymore at that point? Like, or keeping anything in the dollar? What about Qatar? We haven't heard about Qatar and all these other countries getting involved in Bitcoin. I heard Argentina today is also not going to be taxing Bitcoin transactions. So who knows? This could get wild. We could be looking at a whole other United States by then if we have the right people in office and they understand what's going on with the world's fiat currency as it's crumbling to the ground. It's only a matter of time. Yeah, so money printer go burr. That just reminded me of that. That's so funny. With their tickers burr. Yeah, just talking about kind of a little bit of FUD in the headlines. Sol prices down. Tether launching new arm to create coordinate educational initiatives. Huh, interesting. All right, let's just check one more place. We'll look at CoinDesk next. There's this FTX hack thing again. Oh yeah, I heard about this today too. Polygon cutting 60% of its, or no, 19% of its staff 60 roles for enhanced performance. I don't know how that can. Less people are going to enhance the performance of Polygon. So I think we're probably, yeah, we're seeing a little bit of a pullback today because of that as well. There's going to be a lot of cutoffs. I mean, no, you can't keep the job markets strong when no one can afford to stay in these positions without a raise with the way inflation is. And as soon as you raise the average salary, then you're gonna make inflation more sticky. So then the dollar's gonna be worth less and less and less and less, and we're gonna print more and more and more and more. It's an election year, and they're gonna print as much money as they want because it's an election year. I mean, I just went over it. 2025 until they are required to go over the debt limit again. So it's just absolutely insane. Where we're gonna be in by next year is gonna be absolutely insane. Oh man. But yeah, that's probably where I'm gonna call it tonight. Thank you, Mondo, for coming by again. I really look forward to possibly doing some more of these interviews with no corners. See if I can branch out to, or if not, get involved with her in VR and get out there and just start interviewing random people. See what the Gen Zers have to say about this emerging asset class of the world and the future. So have a great night, and don't let your dreams be dreams, and buy Bitcoin. Otaku out. Good night, everyone. Happy Friday tomorrow. Peace.